had a number of people tell me they think I should go to the Invitational, so we're going to make that decision the same way we make all the decisions here in Hooklandia. Figure if people want to send me to the Invitational, they can send me the Invitational, and if not, we'll just stay here and we'll play the decks that I know people will pay me to play. It makes the decision real easy. I think this hand's kind of okay. Maybe this is a trap. Maybe this is a trap. I guess it doesn't really do anything. This is also pretty bad. Not a strong start for the Griselbrands. Ribbon, thanks for being informative, helping us think better about Magic. Thanks for the 4-month subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Lilipad Swag, re-upping for the 5th month in a row. Thank you and welcome. Morning, Frag. Is this really a meme? I mean, I feel like anybody who thinks this deck isn't a meme, like, hasn't played enough games with it. Buckwolf, thank you very much for the 6-month resub there. I probably should have bottomed this. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was on the play there. I wasn't paying attention. C Unit, thank you for the 8 months and welcome back. I might just mulligan here. I might just concede, sorry is what I mean. Thanks everyone for the resubs. Everyone's having a good Monday morning. Welcome. I'm gonna show him I'm a Faithless Looting deck. But I might concede before I fully resolve the looting. We hit Goryos. It's like kind of appealing to keep going then. Number 1. Good morning, wifey. Yeah, I guess we're gonna do it. Not super excited about our position here, but I feel like we're probably... Gosh, that's loose. Alright, I feel bad about having continued to play now. Correct, Jackal Girl. Correct. So basically, the SCG con ticker is basically the cost of my flight plus hotel plus effectively the dollars to buy out the stream basically for when I will well this is actually okay here. The fact that we've got 2 Nourishing Shoals discarded is a little scary, but we found a pig and we have double Goryos. I'm at work and shouldn't be on Twitch, but I saw on Twitter that you referred to this glorious art as meme, and I had to come tell you for a second to please listen. Memes aren't strictly bad. Memes are just funny, and this deck is certainly funny. It definitely falls into the funny category. Alright, I mean... This one. The fact that we're down 2 shoals could end up biting us here. But I also have a lot of mana already, so like... they can't Path to Exile me here, right? I'm 1 mana short of breaching this worm, though. I'm mana short of Breaching the Worm. So I need to find... I need a little something here. Yeah, the fact that, that's a Collective Brutality. Alright, Jackal Girl with the $5 donation. Thank you very much for that. Get my dashboard going here. Let's get the STG Con train rolling. Thank you, I appreciate it. Does it work? It does work. Look at that. Yeah. So unfortunately, we bricked off here, which was, to be honest, was pretty likely because we were through 2 shoals here. I mean, I'm at 2, so I can't Night's Whisper. I guess I get to flashback Faithless Looting, right? I don't have an actual looting in my hand. I could cast Cathartic Reunion. Cathartic Reunion's less mana. Yeah, I could do that. Technically get 3 more looks here. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I think the community reaction would have been like, do Shocklands actually cost money? Karma Nova with the big 5-0 donation. You and I have the same guilty pleasure. Happy to get fairies added to the queue. Thank you and welcome. Yeah, next turn we can Breach Worm. So like, what am I keeping in my hand here at this point? So I'm definitely ditching this. I want to keep a Goryo's Vengeance. I want to keep a basic land. I probably want to bin a couple of worms, honestly. Do I want to keep a backup Breach is the question. I think I want to keep 2 Goryos. I probably don't want to backup Breach. Do I need monkeys at this point? I probably don't need monkeys at this point, right? I definitely don't need the extra lands. Do I want to keep a Collective Brutality? I think I don't want this. Do I need to keep a pig in my hand? I think I just want to keep the breach worm. Yeah, I'm not going to Brutality first. I'm just going to go ahead and just have 2 Goryos, I think. Although I guess Brutality would let me check for a Path to Exile, so maybe I'm supposed to keep that. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that. I definitely want to keep this 1 worm, so that way... what's the word I'm searching for? I want to keep the worm because it means that if I draw one of my other shoals, I'll be okay. I'll be able to pitch that to draw some extra cards. You can always see the donation queue at bit.ly/donation queue. Yeah, Legacy just like hasn't really been my thing. It was unfortunate we didn't find a Borb in like the top 2/3 of our deck either, top third of our deck, whatever it is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put Griselbrand into play here. And then I think I also just want a Worldspine Wurm. I guess I could have spliced this, huh? And technically saved a mana and a card. Yeah, I guess I should have spliced this. They probably don't have any counter spells that are 1 blue that counter. I guess they could have spell snared the Goryo's Vengeance. Yeah, they could have spell snared the Goryo's Vengeance. We might be about to win on a Mulda 4. We'll see. We'll see. It's not over yet. And thanks, Pyrojack. Yep. Wanted to tip. How's it going? What's going on? What's going on, Rad? Good morning. I would like this little pig. I would not be surprised if they have a Path to Exile here. Like, they have to have something in their hand, right? Like, this does mean they're obligated to Path the Worm, which is nice, which is I'm going to get to draw another 7 cards, which hopefully means we kill them. No, it's the same list. We've been playing the same main deck for a really long time. Sideboards changed a little bit here and there, but the main deck's been pretty constant. This is going to be like activate field and then path me. And for those of you that are just joining us, we mulliganed to 4 this game. We should create a command for SCG Con. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, SCG Con only happens in Roanoke. McCullough, thank you for the 5-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Of course, that's how that works. Just draw 2 shoals. We hit another Goryo's Vengeance, though, here, which is sweet. So hopefully we hit another Worm next turn. I'm going to go ahead and move to discard here, obviously. Yeah, they basically just rebranded the Invitational as SCG Con, which is smart. Just smart. Hey, Xeron, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Thanks, Currywurst. Yeah, not fielding first is strange. I agree with that. It really kind of sucks that we haven't found a Borb yet. There's just like 2 Borbs in our last 12 cards here. There's 2 Borbs and 3 Worms in our last 12 at this point. Honestly, my worry at this point is my opponent could like snap path us and then attack us for 2, which sucks. I got you, Bionic. Yeah, Jojo, that's the point of the website. The point of the website is to keep all of my deck lists current. That's not spooky at all. Perfect. All right, hopefully this is lethal. So we're gonna go ahead and Goryo's Vengeance back to the Griselbrand here. Oh my god, I tapped my lands wrong. Damn it. Well, I messed up. Whoops. So, while reading chat and not paying attention, this takes red to splice, because it costs red to splice for whatever reason. So I was going to shoal, pitch, shoal, splice this, put the worm into play, because they probably don't have double path here, but here we are. So let's just, you know, this is my bed, let's lie down in it. Yeah, Jojo, so the point of my slate is whenever I am updating or working on a deck list, I'm going to update it there. It's going to be a set of living pages, not set it and forget it. I did at least, because I drew the worm, I can do this now in response. I also should have discarded this to hand size, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a blue-black thing list together for today, Fragnads. And that wouldn't qualify for today anyways. I could have it ready for tomorrow, though. It's pretty unfortunate. This shouldn't have bowling before. I feel like we got pretty unlucky. I guess I can go ahead and flashback looting here. Like, ditch Griselbrand into the bin here. Glad to be catching a live stream for once. Please put these towards green-black L's. Will do. Back from Richmond. My last side event, I met a sub who was playing Tempo, and we talked for a while. Sweet. So, I'm going to bin Griselbrand and probably Nourishing Shoal at this point. Because, like, I only have 9 cards in my deck. I already played a land for the turn. Zeron with the $25 donation. Sounds good, sounds good, sounds good. Thank you for the support. We kind of need to draw a Worm or a Borborygmos next turn. So that way we can like double creature into play. Push that thing up. Got it. Sure. Okay. Are they out of stuff? Man, if we hit a... We've got what? 2 worms and 2 borbs and 9 cards here? We've got 2 worms and 2 borbs and 9 cards here. A deck doesn't have to be bad to be a meme. A deck has to just be doing something obnoxious and sweet. And I definitely think this deck qualifies. Like, it isn't... Just because a deck's gonna 0-3 doesn't mean it's automatically a meme. Like... One of our 4 payoffs. Almost 50%. Please? Please? We've been so unlucky this set of games. I don't think this is good enough. Because I think we need to draw, like, untapped lands here. I don't think we have untapped lands left in our deck. I guess I draw Spirit Guide plus Fatty here. Because we're a mana short now if we loot into it. I played my Swamp out too soon last turn. And I could have had Temple of Malice in play. No, not all bad decks are memes, even. I don't even think that... I think there's definitely a bunch of decks that just, like, aren't good. Ilmarian, thank you for the 6-month resub there. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's too little too late. I only have 5-6 mana. Oh, I guess I can splice this, technically, right? Alright. I guess that's the plan. Portable Head, thank you for the 3-1-3 sub there. So we're dead to a Logic Knot. We're dead to a Logic Knot. Right to Rebel with the $5 donation. Throw these towards Little Green Giants. Will do. Thank you for the support. So, we unfortunately needed to draw. The problem here is we're just like dead to Logic Knot. I needed to draw. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Did we do it? Did we do it? Do they not have the Logic Knot? Did we get the mulligan to 4? Brick mid combo, still kill you. Nice blue-white control deck win? I think we might be doing it. Please tell me you're dead. They could have set up Op Terminus here, right? They could have Op Terminus. They did, fuck me, they have Op Terminus. We were so close, chat. We were so close. They did brainstorm with the Jace last turn. So, like, that's pretty likely to happen. Almost got there. For those, again, just joining us, we started that game by mulliganing to 4. And then we comboed because their deck is bad. And then we bricked mid combo because our deck is bad too. Alright. Yeah, I think that's it. That's good. Good. Packs, extra brutality, trim a ritual. I guess I probably don't want to trim a ritual in this matchup because it gives me the best chance to fully combo. I'm going to trim the Manamorphose. Yeah, let's do that. I was like, oh, no double white. They can't deal with 2 creatures. Like, oh, wait. Opt Terminus. Darn people. Putting good cards like Opt and Terminus in their blue-white control decks. Wish more people would listen to Gabe Nassif and not play Terminus. Or play 1 Terminus or whatever. Why not Brutality? Both my Brutalities are in my deck. Yeah, someone said Nassif doesn't even play 4 Terminus in the deck, which, you know, just like, again, another example of like how it's the best card in the deck. I mean, whenever we play blue-white, it's always just like, man, this deck would be really bad if I didn't have Terminus to draw. I didn't draw 7 because there were 6 cards in my deck. So that seemed like a bad line. Griselbrand back in the queue, of course, Stinger will do. Yeah, we mulliganed to 4 that game, and unfortunately we had to discard some shoals early. So when we comboed initially, we picked up like 21 cards, but we couldn't actually kill them because we couldn't find a 3rd shoal. So our deck was very low. I mean, Nassif is just like a very good Magic player. So like, you know, whenever you see Nassif playing with the deck that's like something he's really worked on and is good with, like when a normal human being picks it up, our win percentage is going to be like, I don't know, Nassif minus 10, 15, maybe even 20%. Fast Wurm just like really isn't good enough in this matchup. And it's not even that fast, right? It's like turn 4 Wurm. I mean, I'm not playing this deck to not keep hands like this. Nassif is what we would classify as a very deliberate Magic player. There's a lot of very deliberate Magic players in the game. Probably take one more look next turn, but we're probably dead here. And so people often ask me why, like, so deliberate is a coverage buzzword that we use to cover up people who play slowly. We use it. That's not just a Pro Tour thing or Grand Prix thing. That's an SCG thing too. You'll hear people say like, X player is very deliberate with their play. What they mean is they're slow as molasses. Want to thank you for stressing Modern has a flatter power level. It's what made me decide to take Mill versus something stronger. Awesome. Yeah. Alright. I'm going to cast this one for my hand, because if we had a pig here, we can just put the pig into play right away. I'm just going to go ahead and move along with our lives. So this game's actually Game 1 was actually absurdly close considering how low we mulliganed, and this game our deck just kind of didn't do anything, and people often ask me like, well, Jeff, if you think this deck is good, why don't more people play it? And I think there's two reasons people don't play this deck or this deck's not very popular, and those two reasons are, one, this deck has a lot of very expensive cards in it, in terms of dollars, through the Breach and Goryo's Vengeance, that really don't translate to any other decks in Modern. So like, if you're going to build this deck, you have to invest a lot of money, and then that money's not really going to translate to a lot of other things you could be playing in the format. The second reason I think people don't play this deck is because it's what I would describe as emotionally taxing. While the wins that you win with this deck, the highs are high. Why is that meter empty? Pikes, thank you. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate that. Thanks for... So that get that updated. Yeah, so the SCG con ticker in the corner. Any amount you donate or bits you cheer that you would like to put towards that, let me know. Those bits can't go towards normal decks, so that's, again, the ticker is to gauge interest if people are interested in sending me to SCG con, or if you'd rather I just sit here and play memes like always, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to get paid to do that. SCG con's not for a while. It's not till December, so the ticker's up there pretty far out to gauge interest. Sorry, so emotionally taxing. The highs are very high with this deck, but the contrast to that is the lows are like absurdly low. So like when you win, it feels great, but when you lose, your deck basically just doesn't do anything. And that feels really bad, right? I think the new Ralzeric is playable in decks like Jeskai Control. No, I think any deck that can cast Teferi is just going to cast Teferi instead of Ralzeric. So, this is a kind of a decision point here. I think I want to bin both Griselbrands here. It leaves me without something to through the breach, but like both of those are likely going to end up wanting to be in my bin, and we drew a worm here, which is great. Who's salty all the time. Yeah, this deck... This deck is definitely a salt miner. On both sides of the table it can be too. Like, the games you lose with this deck is like so absurdly busted when it's working. Basically, the only games you lose with this deck are the games where your deck just doesn't work for the most part. And those games can be very frustrating. Would you consider playing Ral in the Blue-Red Wizards deck? Nope. That is not what that deck wants. You don't... Trying to grind in the Blue-Red Wizards deck is not where you want to be in life. You want to just kill people. So, the Nourishing Shoal, while it looks kind of awkward, it's actually an okay draw here. Because you need to remember that Through the Breach is cheaper to splice than it is to cast. So any green card here is basically a mana source to let us Through the Breach next turn. I think this deck's okay for anything. I think this deck is very powerful and fairly consistent. Again, I think the reason why people don't play this deck is, one, it's expensive, and two, the losses feel bad. It's not that you lose all the time, it's that when you do lose, you don't feel good about it. Jay Dunlap, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub there. Welcome. No, we did not get to Amulet Titan. perfect. So we'll pitch this, splice additional spells, put this on here, and they didn't leave up, Path to Exile here, so we get to hit them for at least 13 here and leave 15 power behind. Thinking about Green Black X and Modern yesterday, I thought maybe Abzan colors you'd leverage the fact that Noble Hierarch is a card. So the problem with putting a card like Noble Hierarch in a Green Black Rock deck is Green Black Rock decks are basically what I would refer to as like a card quality deck. Like every card in their deck is reasonable. And when you add Noble Hierarch to a deck like that, suddenly you've got like, you know, 26, 27, 28 mana sources in your deck. You're just going to flood out and die a lot. I thought your name looked very familiar, Dunlap. Do you feel like there are a lot of decks like this one that have a good but X factor? There's probably a non-zero amount of other ones. I don't know if I would classify other ones to like to the degree that I would classify this deck as it's good but X. But I think for the most part, there's definitely other decks that are like underplayed in Modern. Like there's just so many things that are like fairly reasonable in this format that it's hard to conceive that like all of them have been explored to like the degree that they could be explored to. So the opponent's playing like black-white stuff. Their mana base didn't imply that they have Eldrazi to me. I don't know. Basically, you kind of want to be like deciding what of your anti-disruption do you want to bring in. Do you want to bring in your anti-counterspell cards, your anti-discard spells, or like your anti-hate bear cards? I don't know exactly what I want to do. And my gut is this deck's like so powerful and proactive that like when I'm not 100% sure what I want to be doing, I go ahead and I just like blesses more, board a medium amount because like our deck is so powerful. I would be pretty surprised if there's too much more optimization to be done to this main deck. I like this main deck a lot. There's a couple of flex slots in this main deck that you can kind of change depending on like what you'd like to hedge. But I think like this core is very, very close to optimal. It would surprise me if this core was not close to optimal, having played this deck a lot. Well, I mean, and so this deck isn't strictly a glass cannon deck either. Like, this deck has a lot of consistency just in the number of cards it sees between Faithless Looting and Night's Whisper. For the trip, thank you, Betty in Gaming. I appreciate it. I have to manually update the ticker because there are donations that come through on the channel that are for things not the trip. Yeah, I think I could maybe hedge. Maybe, like, bringing in Abrade is a good hedge here, just because it could kill things like Damping Sphere. I think I like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim these other pieces, just bring in Abrade for now. Does Ral Zarek hit players? Did I misread him? Does he hit players? If his minus hits players, he's probably playable. If his minus doesn't hit players, I don't think he's playable in anything. At least not in... Does damage target creature? No, he only hits creatures. No, I don't think that card is good enough. This hand just doesn't do anything. It has lanes and spells, but just, like, doesn't accomplish anything for a very long time. Yeah, the SCG con is the Invitational. Sure. On the draw with the Scry. You think the flex slot should be Street Wraiths? Nope. I think there's a very... Losing health in this deck isn't free. This is a deck where when you're comboing, your health total matters. You know, you played in a Grixis deck in Modern. I think more cards that are clunky and generate card advantage isn't what Grixis decks in Modern are lacking. I think Grixis decks in Modern have plenty of clunky cards that generate card advantage. Again, just like new cards come out and people kind of seem to lose sight of like all the things we talk about on stream here all the time. Just because cards are new doesn't mean you need to kind of move away from what I always say. Fix problems, fix problems, fix problems. I didn't discard the Griselbrand because there's a Nile Spellbomb on the table. So I discarded the Goryo's Vengeances because they're useless because there's a Nile Spellbomb on the table. If I end up getting to like 1350, or am I going to go or stay in stream? I'm going to stay in stream if we don't hit the whole goal. That being said, the goal, I don't know, the cutoff is probably going to be like mid-November. We've got a while. You just drop me a whisper in private. So click on my name there and then hit the whisper button, Thopter Gifts, and just tell me which deck name you'd like to bump up. We've played 8-Rack on stream before. All of my streams get archived on my YouTube channel. There's a good chance that if anything is like a deck you've heard of in Modern, you can probably find me playing it on my YouTube channel. I think they're playing like some kind of black-white smallpox deck. The flagstones of Trollcare seem to indicate they're playing a smallpox variant. The Ziggs! Thank you for the 6-month free subscription there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the half a year. Now, I don't think Merchant Scroll solves problems. Like, again, like, this is what, again, why I feel like people don't play this deck very often. Like, it feels very bad, and it feels like our deck's just not good enough here. But, like, sometimes you brick and die and don't have any lands. Like, that happens with every deck in Magic. And it doesn't mean we need to make a bunch of changes. Like, no matter what you do, some amount of the time you're going to brick and die while playing Magic. And it feels bad, but, like, that's just part of the game. I don't enjoy... So basically, the short answer on why I don't enjoy playing Legacy is because Legacy has such a critical mass of powerful cards that the cards that are the best things you can be doing in Legacy are much better than everything else, which makes playing interesting decks far less fun because the interesting decks tend to be very bad because the cards they're playing to allow them to be interesting are much weaker than the cards in the good decks, is what it comes down to. Right, let's go ahead and cast this, because if we hit an untapped land here or a Spirit Guide, we can put Griselbrand into play. Perfect. I feel like a lot of people who are huge fans of Legacy, and like, I also don't super enjoy the whole cantrip experience. Like, Xerox formats tend to be tedious, and all the powerful blue cantrips in combination with Force of Will make the blue cards, part of the reason the blue cards are just so much better than everything else. Afara, thank you for the 4 months and welcome back. I appreciate that. Let's put my pig into play here. And like, people like to talk about like Brainstorm being this absurdly complicated card. There's like this really small subset of play patterns that, like, if you understand them, but Brainstorm is not that complicated. A lot of the time when you cast Brainstorm, there are 2 cards in your hand that are much worse than the rest of them, and you just get rid of those cards. Rod Trav, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. All right, so the real question here is, do I think I can win with these cards in my hand here next turn? Or do I want to take another hit on 7 and, like, risk drawing Shoal plus green card here? Would you agree that you probably know more about how splice spells work than... Yeah, probably, Jekyll Girl. Alright, let's make this decision the same way I make all of my important decisions in life, by doing math. So let's pull up a Hyper Geo here. We've got 26 cards in our deck. There's two shoals left, and I'm picking up 7 cards. So our chance of getting 1 shoal and 7 cards here, if we're over 70, I'll probably take it. Is this calculator not working? No, stop it. Do math. 26, 2, 7, 1. Calculate. Click on the second link for Hypergeometric Dispute Shooter. It's around 50%. That's not good enough for me. I think I was going to take this and then just, like, regroup next turn. I guess they have me dead in 2, though. Yeah, let's just, whatever. Let's flip the coin. We're technically a bit worse than a coin flip because we need to hit the coin flip, plus we need to hit a green card. Yeah, and we missed. All right. Mosey along here. Yeah, and that's definitely a reasonable thing, Hooded Robin. Like, I know my experience, like, playing Legacy on Magic Online, like, streaming it is, like, the exact opposite. Another part of the reason I don't stream Legacy is because the average person that's engaging in my Legacy content is a lot more offensive and rude to me, personally, than modern players. You can find everything that I've ever played anywhere on my YouTube channel. So your question, have you played this? You can always search on my YouTube to find out for yourself. SCGCon, I believe, is the 2nd week in December. So I'll probably run the donation goal through, like, the 2nd week of November. In my experience producing content, people who produce, or a lot of the people who engage in Legacy content, like to yell at me and just be rude in general. Put this worm back in my deck. It'll land at least. And I think part of it is when people spend more money to play a particular format, they get more invested in it. So, like, when I sit and talk about, like, I don't like this particular thing about Legacy, people that are invested in Legacy tend to take a lot more offense to that because, like, they've spent so much more money than modern players do on average. And again, that's not saying all Legacy players are like that. I'm just saying, in my experience making lots of content, that the amount of negative reactions I get to Legacy content in proportion to the amount of negative reactions I get to modern content is just far higher. Oh no! Oh no! What an incredibly rude Magic the Gathering card. What an incredibly rude Magic the Gathering card. That's... I don't know who else this is good against, but it is definitely very good against us. Please attack me so I can block. Sometimes they just want it more than you, chat. Sometimes they just want it more than you, and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes they show up with their Spirit of Labyrinth. You just gotta... Alright, we can't draw cards! We can't even draw cards once the game is over, chat! Spirit too strong! Please nerf! Please nerf! Slow and steady. I've conceded. Set me free. Set my people free. Set my people free. I think there was a question in chat that I missed. Anyway, invested or follow the magic? Nope. No, flavors. Flavors not really my thing. Again, 7-card hand that just doesn't really do anything. Let's take a quick mulligan here. Sounds good. We haven't drawn many copies of Night's Whisper so far today. This is one of the cards that's like really good in this deck. Just like get like to play 10 pieces of selection. For STG Con, thank you, Colin. I appreciate it. Thank you, Commander Vertex. Is replacing the Blackcleave Cliffs with one of each basic fireball. I'd replace them with Blood Crypts. This deck only plays one Blood Crypt. Can I get some Stoneforge Mystics in chat? Is that an option? Can I get some Stoneforge Mystics in chat? Is this matchup winnable or is Affinity too fast? I mean, our absolute nut draw kills on the first turn of the game. So like Standard is really bad. Can I donate to raise the bar for STG Con? Grapple. Thank you for the Twitch Prime and welcome back. Thanks for putting your Bezo bucks this way this month. The emote is really good, to be fair. This must have been a misclick, right? Oh, it's your card. Seems good. Wait, is this an X spell? Walking Ballista. Okay, interesting. Huh. Getting close to dead. I'll take a draw step next turn. Are we dead here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Arcbound Ravager is lethal here. Every time someone at the LGS buys a meme, we blame you. I mean, to be fair, I am like a meme. I'm basically the meme dealer. To get you to play Tron at SCG Con. The asterisk for the SCG Con budget is if I'm going to that event, I'm gonna be playing decks that I want to play. So I think that taking in like in order for like to be able to like sell myself for the decks, it'd have to be, it's probably just like not even a dollar amount that's worth it, honestly. I'd probably rather just stay home. Trimming Night's Whisper against the aggressive deck is usually pretty reasonable. SCG Con is what they've rebranded the Invitational to. So, SCG Con is the Invitational in Roanoke, Virginia in December. Thank you, Mr. Tasty. What do I think I'll play if I'll go? I don't know. So Standard's going to rotate, which is one of the reasons why I'm considering going. I was planning to like play some Standard post-rotation anyways, so going to SCG Con seems like a good excuse. I was going to play some Standard to begin with when things roll over. And as far as like modern goes, we'll probably Blue-Red Temple probably be the default, but we'll probably test a couple of other things. The Grixis Delver deck we played on stream recently felt really good. So I might kick the tires on that a little bit more. Did I submit 61? I totally submitted 61. Does that mean we'll have a standard dono queue at some point? Yeah, definitely. If standard seems like it's going to be reasonable, I'll take some standard decks post-rotation. I'm going to bin Breach and Ritual here, I think. I already had an SCG Con command. Wannabe Beetle. What does reasonable standard mean to me? Probably things that don't involve energy. I don't know. It's a loaded. You're right. That's a loaded. Reasonable standard's kind of a loaded question. It's a broad swing. Broad swing. I think I'll take a pig on top of my deck, right? Maybe I should have kept the Through the Breach, huh? If I kept Breach Ritual here, I'd actually be able to pig next turn. I might be in a position that I need to Bontu's next turn, though, honestly. We'll see what they play here. Yeah, SCG Con's in December. So, unlike many Magic players who, like, can't book hotels or plane tickets until the week before, when I'm traveling to a Magic event, I generally have my schedule figured out very far in advance. So, again, the SCG Con ticker is for an event that's happening in December. Just gonna go ahead and try and clean the board here. There's a good chance we get, like, Spell Pierce or Stubborn Denialed, honestly. That fat Stubby D. Usually, Chase Daddy, I would define it as the fun decks are competitive. Yeah, might be a bit too slow here. Rough morning for the Griselbrands. Hey, haven't you ever seen, like, when, like, it always cracks me up, and, like, Matt and I just like sit around and, like, trash talk people that do this. Like, every time, like, a Grand Prix caps out, there's always, like, some Magic professional who's like, oh no, I can't play in the Grand Prix. I booked a hotel and a plane ticket, but I forgot to pre-register to the tournament that I already paid for travel to get to, and now I'm capped out of the event. Woe is me. It's like, how do you function in the real world like that? Like, you can't possibly be, like, a functional human being, right? Like, that's why I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, super cynical, but, like, I can't even imagine booking a plane ticket and then not also going and registering for the tournament the same day you book the plane ticket. Like, every time I hear that, I always want to be like, good. I hope you learn your lesson this time. I did flashback Faithless Looting. Look, if people want to clip that and send it to people that got themselves capped out of events, good. I'm fine making fun of those people. Those people should learn to be responsible adults. Am I dead? I think we're dead. So that's a counter. They can sack 3. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, yeah, they miss lethal here if they don't kill us. Okay, so they've missed lethal. They must have another counter spell, right? They could have put 3 counters onto here and then sacked their board and killed us with the Walking Ballista. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. See, honestly, I agree with that. The STG the Invitational is standard in Modern. They go for lethal, they lose to Shoal. Huh. Yeah, I guess that's real. Like I do actually have a 0 mana thing. Alright, I accept that. We know we don't have a Shoal, they don't know we don't have a Shoal. That is what I can only describe as unfortunate. Oh, we hit a Shoal, never mind, I'm dumb. That's not unfortunate, we did it. So do I think I just take another hit, right? Sweet. So let's do this. Exile this. Splice this. They had a window to kill us here, but that window is basically closed at this point. Zentis, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Well, I mean, at this point, they can't kill me because I have Fatal Push in my hand and Abrade. How do you feel about killing their board and then killing them next turn? I think I like that. They couldn't have killed me when I went to 5, chat. I think I'm just gonna play the Shattering Spree and, like, kill all of these. And then I can push this off a cliff. Now, I think I just want to, like, hang at 16 for a hot second here. Ha! We can just cast Griselbrand next turn, can't we? We totally can. Let's put my piggy into play. I guess we maybe get in trouble if they have a stub here. No, even that's not true, right? Because I can pay for a soft stub with Simian Spirit Guide. So this is a good example of my opponent being conservative and playing around something and then getting beat because they played around something. I don't know if it was incorrect for them to play around what they played around, but we were definitely winning this game because they were conservative. The fact that they didn't have another counterspell in their hand here kind of makes me think they should have tried to go for lethal last turn. And, like, they would have gotten blown out by, like, Shoal green card, but So, like, what am I discarding here? We're definitely discarding some tapped lands. I could try and kill this turn, but there's really no reason to. I boarded out my second Borborygmos, which might be a mistake. Maybe I should have him in still. But, basically, I'm pretty confident that if we clear their board here, they only have 2 cards left, and we're a strong favorite to win next turn. So I feel like there's not a compelling reason to, like, go for it this turn. So I'm going to go on the cast Griselbrand next turn plan. So next turn we'll go land, Ritual, Spirit Guide, Griselbrand. You got a Master of Ethereum. Dispatch would actually be quite annoying. Okay. They don't actually have good attacks here, right? They can, like, attack and I, like, block this, take 1. Smush, 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 smush. So we'll go Spirit Guide, tap my land, Abrade the Master, and then they die. Morning, everyone, by the way. Hope everybody out there is having a good Monday wherever you're at. So you're dead? You're dead? Good chat. Good chat. Smush it good. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Yeah, I think I want Borby. Think I want the Borby. Let's do it. Maybe a second ritual's bad. Let's trim the second ritual. Oh, I am at 61. I am still at 61. You're right. Somebody else pointed that out last time. I forgot. Chat, listen. I went somewhere else. I went somewhere else. Did I get it? I don't know if I got it. Magic Online's real slow in the morning. I think we did it. I think we're 60. I think we did it now. Listen, all I'm going to say is we won while we had 61 cards in our deck, so maybe it's just strictly optimal to have 61 cards. Maybe we've been doing it wrong this whole time. Sand just doesn't do anything, right? Bush sounds good. One story from the PPTQ. If I just stomped an opponent by demolishing their deck, I would usually apologize after their match more than once. The opponent said, "No, you're not sorry," and I just had to nod and agree. Yep. I actually think sorry is one of the worst things you could say after beating someone. Like, you should never feel bad about winning. Like, winning a match of Magic is like what you showed up to do. It's what your opponent showed up to do. Yeah, the Squadron Hawk Possibility Storm deck looks really awesome. Blue is Killith. Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. So keeping me employed here this month. Thanks for the support. So what is in their hand that they kept? Did they mulligan this game? Nope. They kept 7. Okay. When are we playing Possibility Storm? 2 decks from now. So this is match. This is only match 3 of this league, right? This has been a long Griselbrand league. We're gonna play Griselbrand. We're gonna finish up the Griselbrand league. Then we've got Scred, and Mardu Possibility Storm's gonna be after Scred. Thanks for the games is the appropriate moniker. I like that one a lot. Huh. So if I discard... If I discard these 2, next turn I go Shoal, Splice Breach, pitch this. Yeah, so I discard these 2, and then next turn we put a Griselbrand into play. Yeah, so SCG Con is what the Invitational has been branded to in Roanoke, Virginia. So that's their SCG's kind of capstone tournament that happens twice a year. It's a split standard modern tournament that happens in the summer and the fall now. What on earth did they keep? Nice. Sweet. I convinced a lot of people to make good PPTQ decisions this weekend, it sounds like. Alright, what are we doing? I've got 2 Spirit Guides. I've got Shoals. We need more Shoals, man. We need more Shoals. Actually, we're looking for Worms. Alright, Borble kind of do. Let's attack here. They must have like a Rest in Peace or something, right? Like some kind of graveyard hate that they can't cast. They had to have kept in the back of a card that they think was going to single-handedly win them the game if they drew a land to cast it. Alright, so I'm going to go cast this, exile a thing, splice additional spells. So I'm going to exile... I don't have a Worm, right? I think I have to exile Borb. I have to exile Borb. So we'll go exile you... And then we'll splice this, pitching these. How did I get an invite to SCG Con? I top aided the open with the blue-red tempo deck. Top aiding a open qualifies you for their invitational. Just like top aiding a Grand Prix qualifies you for the Pro Tour. Then we'll go. There's another shoulder. Playing this deck is much easier in paper. Because when you're playing in paper, you can just like sort the cards as you draw them into these cards might matter and these cards definitely will not matter. Gain some more life. There's a Bach command. Let me tell you, as someone who's been doing this for a while, no amount of bot commands or putting things directly on the overlay or the screen will reduce or remove people's ability to ask questions about it. So basically, I'm just going to answer questions a lot, which is fine. It's part of the gig. It's part of the gig. It's what we do here. I'm a parent. I'm used to repeating myself often. Man Goody with the $10 donation. The deck you approved. Sounds good. I'll get that added. All right. All right. We're 1 and 2. We're starting the run back chat. The old 0-2 into 3-2. I could feel it. While we're waiting for the next match of this league to pop, I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out here today. Welcome. My name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time stream, meme, content producer, whatever you want to call it here on Twitch. If you enjoy my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are a big part of why I'm able to do this full-time like I do. Past that, you can support my content by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Cardsteer.com will love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards direct with other players. There's no haggling, and they just take 1% fee off the top. InkedGaming.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles using promo code Jeff5. You can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, all sorts of great stuff there. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible if viewers like Anaronic, Shulsindivik, and all y'all out there. Also worth noting, I've got this little ticker here for SCGCon. SCGCon includes the SCG Invitational, so I am... people had expressed interest in, they thought I should go, so I decided I was going to make that decision the same way we make all the other decisions on this stream. If we can send in enough dollary dues to send me to the Invitational, I'm going to go to the Invitational. And if there's not interest in doing that, then I'm just going to hang out here and keep streaming Magic like I do. So it's no skin off my back either way. I enjoy playing competitive Magic on occasion still. But if people would rather me full-time meme, I'm here to be a full-time meme. It's been doing well. I spoke to a judge as I was doing my thing because I sort my deck. Am I allowed to pile shuffle more than... You're allowed to pile, I believe, once is... I'm actually not sure offhand. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, it's in December. I believe it's once per game. Once per game sounds right. And honestly, I would encourage people to pile once per game. If here's my reasoning, and I have logic and structured reasoning for this like everything else. You should pile every time you adjust your sideboard, because when you adjust your sideboard, you should be counting to make sure you're presenting 60 cards. And guess what? Just counting the 15 in your sideboard isn't good enough, because you can drop cards on the floor occasionally. Definitely done that before. Yes. Pile shuffling is a bad moniker. Piling is not shuffling. It is pile counting. The only purpose of piling is to count your deck. And counting your deck is a good idea. Counting your deck when you make adjustments to your sideboard will save you headaches of game losses. So it is a good idea to do. Hider. PPTQs are done at competitive REL. One, you should call a judge because they swore at you. And two, electronic devices with connections to the internet cannot be used during a match at competitive REL. So, this is kind of no, Innocent Smith, you weren't paying attention to what I said. You can drop cards on the floor. You can drop cards on the floor. Counting your 15 is faster, but it's technically not sufficient. So, something to think about here. I could just ditch the Gristle Pig into my graveyard here, but then if they rip a Scavenging Ooze, I'm pretty confident it's once per game. Look it up. I'm pretty confident it's once per game. So if I ditch the Gristle Pig here, Scavenging Ooze kind of gets me, but like they probably would have played the Scavenging Ooze last turn, right? And like comboing is a lot easier if I have extra mana, and going off with Goryo's Vengeance means I have extra mana next turn. Jake, sir, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. I've never dropped a card. For me, it's time lost. You know what? I usually don't drop cards, but I am aware that I am human, and mistakes happen. And if I can avoid a potential game loss or warning by taking a 5 to 10 second action once per game, I think the EV on taking that 5 to 10 second action is worthwhile. You feel free to judge what your time is worth, what you're willing to risk for your own, because that's not something I can judge for you. But in my opinion, I think it's worth the time it takes. So I do need to be careful to not die to double bolt here. Alright, well, how lucky are we? Very lucky is the answer, chat. Very lucky. Now, that being said, going to 17 here is kind of a precarious number, because this does mean that my opponent has us dead to a single lightning bolt here if I draw a second time. It's another shoal. Do we hit another green card? So, are they dead? I believe they're dead, right? I have 5 lands already, and they're at 15. Yeah, so I just get to go ahead and go cast this ritual, pitch the spirit guide, through the breach my Borby, 15U. I hate that they call it pile shuffling in the MTR. I think that sends the wrong message. The fact that it's classified as shuffling is a mistake. Yeah, I think this deck's really sweet. We've played this deck on stream a bunch of times before. This deck list that we're playing right now is my current preferred iteration. You can find a bunch of videos on my website. It's not even occasionally absurd. We 3-2 and 4-1 leagues with this deck all the time. Oh no, don't lightning bolt me. How will I ever win the game now? I think this deck's much better than what you're classifying it as at tier 3. I think this deck is very competitive and very reasonable. I can count a deck of cards in piles of 4 in less than 15 seconds on average. I mean, I think they were just sending... It was the wrong timing, Demir, but I think they just wanted to send a message. Alright, so against Jund, you want to trim these cards that require you to have lots of extra cards. Also like trimming Desperate Ritual. I think trimming Borborygmos is fine here too. Nah, Collective Brutality is pretty bad. That seems pretty clean. On the draw, you could maybe make an argument for bringing in like the Fatal Push to kill their first play. Maybe that's fine actually. Orb's like kind of whatever here. Let's do this. My opponent just asked in chat if I was the real Jeff Hoagland or a clone, and I told them that I was in fact the real Slim Shady, so I feel like I should stand up since I said that. Just pop on up here. How we doing, folks? Morning. I would actually consider keeping this hand some amount of the time. But I'm actually going to go ahead and mulligan this because not only is my opponent playing a discard spell deck, but I have Leyline of Sanctity on my board right now. And my rule of thumb is if you ever have a hand that you feel is close and you have Leylines in your deck to mulligan to, you should always mulligan the close hand if it doesn't have a Leyline in it. Do I have a sleeve deck of Magic cards around here somewhere? I don't know if I have a sleeve deck. Is this a sleeve deck still? This is my casual deck from when I was a child. I have a sleeve deck of cards here. Should we try and pile count in 30 seconds? Should we try and pile count in 30 seconds? 15 seconds, however long it takes. People are asking like this takes a long time. Is this loud? That's probably kind of loud, right? All right, I'll stop doing it now. For science, maybe we will do it at some point. Riffle me, daddy. Riffle me. All right. It's beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna bottom Borby here. So this is actually this is a casual red-green madness deck from when I was a small child. I found it in a box in my garage when we were cleaning it out over the summer. It's been sitting here on my desk since then. These sleeves are like, I don't know, probably like 10 or 15 years old at this point. Listen, chat, I know the rules. If I show you mine, you gotta show me yours. Alright, Shoal's not a bad pickup here. That technically ramps us into the Through the Breach, so if we find a Gristle Pig, we could be in a pretty okay spot. Stone Rain? Oh no, chat, they boarded in stone. Of course there's Diligent Farmhands in my deck. It combos with Muscle Burst. Come on now. It's a combo deck, chat. Diligent Farmhand combos with Muscle Burst. And don't tell me you're some kind of casual that don't know what the staple Muscle Burst does. Was my Wild Mongrel? I think there's Wild Mongrels in here. Oh yeah, baby. Of course there's Wild Mongrels in here. Look at that. Look at that. I think we might be dead, chat. Alright, so we need to draw something we can Through the Breach next turn. If we draw Griselbrand next turn, we have a chance to kill them. We do not get tokened. Yeah, so we need to draw a Gristle Pig here. If we draw a Gristle Pig, we can Through the Breach next turn. Although I suppose I get one more shot here, right? Because this takes this out of my hand, so I could draw a Gristle Pig next turn too. Now, I'm actually a fan of Surgical and Black-Green decks. You can always find my current Black-Green Rock deck along with all my other deck lists on my website. Yeah, we can splice to ramp, so I'm gonna go ahead and fetch the Thin here. Not that it's super relevant, but I only have one more draw here, so let's just go ahead and do it. Everybody says. I can technically survive by gaining 11 here, but I'm actually just like drawing dead to win the game past that at that point. So there's really no point in doing it. You saying I'll show you mine if you show me yours while I left the room and my Bluetooth disconnected. Everybody in the kitchen heard you and now I have some explaining to do. God bless. Thank you, AGH. Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna put all unmarked bits towards SCG. There's another 100 in there too from Beetle. Do I want this Lightning Axe and this Fatal Push on the play? Diligent Farmhand is a weird card. You're not wrong. I'm gonna bring this Cathartic Reunion back in. Just go 0 interaction, just try and get them. Will you play your red green muscle burst deck in a legacy casual match on stream? I don't know about that. And see, it unfortunately just doesn't do anything, right? What is happening with unmarked bits? I'm putting them in the thermometer fund for the... I'm putting them in the thermometer fund for SCG Con. Seems only fair. Any bits not earmarked for decks. I think this is unfortunately a keep. It doesn't have a Leyline, it doesn't do a whole lot, but like Knight's Whisper gives me some chances. Yeah, definitely, Jekyll Girl. If you'd rather do that instead of add something to the queue, I would be, that seems reasonable. Ben C, thank you for the bits, I appreciate it. Captain Sadai with the 12-month resubscription. Pick up your sword and shield and defend the realm from Twitch chat. Welcome to the Knights of Hoglandia. We're gonna lose Knight's Whisper now. Getting kind of punished for bottoming the other one. Kind of a rough day for the Griselbrand chat. Yep. Okay, it's a good pickup. Oh, you know what? I should have fetched this turn, right? One, I wouldn't... Actually, I kind of want basics, but shuffling the Knight's Whisper back into my deck that I bottomed is kind of like something I'm okay with. So, Desperate Ritual and Spirit Guides. Let us put a Gristle Pig into play next turn. Bobby. All right. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. That's all I need is a chance, chap. All I need is a chance. Colligan's command. Yep. Do 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 do. Please don't cascade into discard spells. Them's a beat sometimes. Zems the beats. We'll just give them a quick 10-minute break to reassess the board state. Yeah, if we rip another breach here, that'd be hot. We'll take a draw step before we pack it in. All right, that was a rough league. That was a rough league. Sometimes that happens. Doesn't really matter how good or bad your deck is. Magic's got some variance by design, and that's just how it rolls. Zerem put this towards a Deep Fiend deck of my choice. Okay. So again, just to like kind of wrap with Grishoalbrand, this is the main deck we've been playing for a long time. I'm really pretty happy with this main deck. The flex slots in this main deck, if you're looking for things to kind of toy around with, are, I think, certainly the Lightning Axe, the Brutality, and the 2 Cathartic Reunions. I've seen people play a third Desperate Ritual to make your combos a little bit more a little bit more consistent when you're going. As far as the sideboard is concerned, I'm pretty confident you want 3 Pact of Negations and these Leyline of Sanctities. The rest of this I could kind of take or leave depending on, like, what's the right mix of things to have here. Like, this exact split of interaction could definitely go a couple different ways. I think the extra Collective Brutality is pretty good. Just like those paired with Pact of Negation generally give you a pretty good matchup against the counterspell based decks. But so if you're looking for things to toy with or tinker or fine tune, those are definitely the things that I would like to change. All right. Somebody said they want to see how quickly I can pile shuffle 60 cards. I believe this is 60. Let's find out if this is 60 cards. I have no idea if this is 60 cards or not. I have no idea if this is 60 cards or not. Let's try it. All right. All right, let's give me plenty of space here. We've got my SCG creature collection playmat here. And give it a couple riffle here's because, you know, piling is not shuffling, it's just counting. It's just counting. So Whispers gets boarded out a lot, but that's a card. Whispers is a card that these sleeves are, believe it or not, the sleeves that were in my garage for a decade are not particularly good. So, all right, maybe 15 seconds was ambitious, but I feel like we're gonna be under 30 here, right? Time. Anybody have a good time on that? That was 60. That was 60. And even if you just like sit there and do them face down in a pile, like that would probably even be quicker than what I did there. So just set these off to the side and go back to playing Magic. Put my desk back up to the computer playing height. Donation goal for a 24-hour shuffling stream. 16 seconds. 16 seconds. All right, so my 15-second estimate was pretty reasonable. My 15-second estimate was pretty reasonable. So for 45 seconds a match, you can make sure you've always presented 60, which is worth the time in my opinion. All right. What are we